Hello everyone, today I'm going to be sharing about not being ashamed of God. Now in Acts chapter 4, we see Peter and John in front of the high priest. Now they were arrested and put in front of the high priest because the high priests were really mad about them preaching about the gospel. When Peter, John, they went out and they were always preaching about God. And so many people started to turn to believers and they started following them. And when the high priest saw that and saw that people were leaving them and following Jesus Christ, they got really mad and took them. And there they try to tell them, stop preaching. Who told you to preach these type of things? They were trying to get them. But yet Peter and John, here it says in verse 19, but Peter and John replied, which is right in God's eyes, to listen to you or to him? You be the judges. As for us, we cannot help speaking about what we have seen and heard. No matter how many times the high priest arrested Peter and John, put them in jail, those two would not stop sharing about the gospel of Jesus Christ. No matter what. You see, many of us sometimes become ashamed. Maybe they're afraid of what others might say. One thing about me is that these days at school, I only seem to talk about God, and my friends, they start becoming annoyed. They start getting mad at me because all I do is talk about God. Back then, that would have affected me. I would have immediately stopped talking because I used to be the type of person who always cared about what other people would say around me, who always cared about other people's opinion. Back then, me would stop talking about God. I would be ashamed and I would just start talking about other things. But right now, I know that there's no reason for me to be ashamed. No matter how many times people say, can you stop talking about that? Or, I keep talking about Jesus because there's no reason for me to shame. Because in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, 17, it says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes, first to the Jew, then to the Gentiles. For in the gospel, the righteousness of God is revealed, a righteousness that is by faith from first to last, just as it is written, the righteousness will live by faith. You see, we need to be more like Peter and John. Right now in this world, so many people are against Christians. So many people are against the word of God. But the thing is, God told us to go out and share the gospel, to share the message of Jesus Christ. But, we see right now, the people in this generation, they're too ashamed to even worship in front of people. They're too ashamed to even let their friends know that, I am a Christian. Sometimes I see people at church, when it comes to worship, they're too afraid to lift their hands up or even, worship him. They look around, see who's gonna be judging them. Right now, there's no time to be ashamed of that. Right now, we need to speak out and be like Peter and John. There will be people at the high priest trying to stop you, trying to be like, please stop speaking about the word of God. Please stop doing this or that. They're going to come and try to stop you. Right now, we already see the evil of the world trying to stop the people of Christ. But do not let that stop you. Be like Peter and John. No matter how many people came up and told them to stop, they wouldn't, because they were not ashamed of the gospel. They were not ashamed of God. They were not ashamed of speaking his word out. And so they kept continue doing it and doing it. Our generation has a problem right now with being ashamed of showing that they are of God's. But right now, I want to encourage you, stop being ashamed. Stop caring what your friends might think. Stop caring about what people's opinions are gonna think about you. Stop caring about that. Because in the end, this world is temporary. Everything here is temporary. But right now, we need to do the job that God told us to do, which is share the gospel, share his message. Tell the people who do not know God. Maybe it's your friends. You know that your friends don't know God, but yet you continue to do the worldly things and act around them, I want to encourage you, be different. Be like Peter and John and stop being ashamed and tell your friends, tell people that you know that doesn't know about Jesus and share the gospel of Christ. I want to encourage that. Don't let anybody stop you from being a child of God. Don't let anybody stop you from the plans that God has for you. But keep going and stand firm in Jesus Christ. That's what I like to encourage you guys today, and I like to wish everybody God bless you.